It's time now to check your money with America's Money Maven, Vicki Brackens. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. Happy 4th of July weekend, Vicki.
Thank you very much, George. Happy 4th of July weekend to you and to all of our viewers and listeners around the world. I'm starting to feel good about saying around the world because I think we picked up a couple people on outside of the country last week. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started. As everyone can see, we have our friendly neighborhood advisor, Mr. Michael Jennings, here with us this week because he's going to cover some questions that have been presented to him from our audience. But before we do that, I just want to speak to this issue, George. Again, this week, we found out why having an exit plan, which we have discussed many times before, is so important, that we all make sure that we have all of our estate planning documents, our exit plan, including our wills, completed and ready to go at all times. Because we found out this week that Chadwick Boseman unfortunately did not have a will, which means that the estate went into to the probate process, and it was not as a clean an execution as far as what was going to happen with his estate as it could have been. So I'll come back to this next week. I don't want to step on Michael's time, but I'll come back to this next week in more detail to remind everybody of many of the things that we've discussed concerning exit planning and a few other things that I think we should probably bring back to mind before we hit the summer. But right now, I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Michael Jennings, our friendly neighborhood advisor, for his question and answers to the question for this week. Mike?
Yes, absolutely. So today's topic actually goes into, what you just mentioned as far as having an exit plan, or just planning for things when it comes to, the things of that nature. I actually had the pleasure of hosting a series of workshops at the Synergy Internship Program with MercyWorks down at the Vision Center this past month. And I got to tell you, the students there are amazing. They are so inquisitive, and they almost led the workshop themselves just with the sheer amount of questions and the things that they were asking. But we ended up getting into an extended conversation surrounding life insurance. And many of their questions included, the difference between term insurance versus permanent, the benefits of having one versus the other, when would be the best time to get insurance. So I think a quick rundown again of insurance would be good for the listening audience. So what is life insurance? First of all, we know that life insurance is a contract between a person and an insurer, the company, to provide a monetary benefit upon the insured person's death. Now, there are many different ways that a life insurance policy can be constructed, but the main two types are term and permanent. And term is exactly what it sounds like, right? It's a policy that lasts for a set amount of time. With that, it's generally cheaper than permanent, and it doesn't have as many of the bells and whistles that the permanent policy could possibly have. And in contrast, the permanent insurance is designed to last for the insured's entire life, right? As a result, it's more costly than term, but it can include, again, a lot more of those benefits to the insured person.
And it's interesting because you said bells and whistles. And so what might be a bell and what might be a whistle?
Yeah. So bells and whistles. So policies, again, they can be constructed in many ways. Some have many policies have different things known as riders that can be attached to the policy that gives the insured a little bit more benefit. But as far as the advantages go, with term, again, because it only lasts a set amount of time, you can generally get more death benefit than you would with permanent for around the same price. And even though it doesn't last forever, term policies are commonly issued between 10 and 20 years. Some are even issued up to 30 years. And that's a pretty large segment of a person's life, right? Think of a 20-year policy, right? I'm 27. and 28 next week, actually. But 20 years is more than significant. That's a very substantial amount of time for a person to be covered in case anything happens. And with that term is cheaper because you're only paying for the cost of insurance. Now with permanent policies, there is a savings component as well, right? Unlike term, you're not just paying for the cost of insurance. Part of that premium that you're paying goes into the savings account that's attached to that policy. And based on whether it's, what kind of permanent policy it is, whether it be whole life, where you may be seeing dividend growth, or universal life or variable life, where you could be experiencing gains to your cash value from part of that policy's fund being invested.
So now, did you notice, George, and I'm going to stop you for a second. Mike made sure we knew that his birthday was next week.
I caught that. I definitely caught that. So happy birthday, Mike.
Happy
Well, thank
birthday.
you.
Okay, Mike. Okay. So as far as the types of insurances you're talking about, two main categories, term and permanent. I want to make sure we don't miss an important fact that Mike pointed out, and that is that the face amount, it's the face amount of the insurance that is driving the decision as to which type of policy, what might be most appropriate, because it's the face amount that's going to determine how much is paid to the beneficiaries. And we want to be sure that we are insuring individuals to the right numbers in order to take care of the families or businesses that are the beneficiaries of those particular contracts. So start with the face amount, and then we start talking about what types of policies that there are.
Absolutely. And with that, everything surrounding life insurance, it has to be answered pertaining to each individual, right? Again, each policy has its own advantages and its own purpose. For some people, it may be more financially advantageous for them to seek term because of the price. And many term policies actually allow you to convert to a permanent policy before the end of the term, which is advantageous as well, because as you get older, your health changes, different things happen to you, and life insurance will generally become more expensive for you. So getting a policy when you're young and you're healthy and you're active, it can lead to reduced costs in the future. But again, like Vicki's mentioning, when it comes to life insurance, the most important thing that you can do is speak with your friendly neighborhood advisor and get help determining, what kind of policy is right for you. And in addition to that, how much should you seek in terms of the death benefit?
So Mike, I want to know, since George didn't ask you, if I just call you and say I want some insurance, do I just automatically get it?
No. And when it comes to insurance, it's I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty lengthy process. It can be. There's a lot of things involved. There's a long application. Even before that, just searching the different options that are available to you, because not every policy is built the same. Each individual person, they're going to have their own needs that they need addressed. So it's important for us as advisors to make sure that we're looking at taking a wide angle of everything, getting those different options, making sure we find one that is the most suitable for you.
And if I have looked at all the options and you've looked at all the options, does it matter what my health is, or if I've been exercising, or if I've been taking care of myself? Tell me about that part.
Oh, I bet it matters. I bet it matters a lot.
You think it matters? Okay.
A lot.
Okay.
And also family history, all of those factors, right?
Oh, absolutely. Again, that if you ever seen a life insurance application, it's pretty long. But all of that health information goes into that. For some policies, you may have to get a physical, a health exam. May have to get a little blood work, urine analysis. Again, like George mentioning, some of that family history goes into that as well, as far as how much are the underwriters going to look to charge you, right, for that insurance. Health factors, how much are you exercising? Do you drink? Do you smoke? That's a big one. Tobacco is a big factor when it comes to life insurance. Yeah, so there's many different factors that are considered on part of the insuring company. So really just making sure that, you know, you're on top of your game, going to make sure that you're, you know, you go to see your doctor pretty often, make sure that, you know, if you do have some of those issues, that you're addressing it. You're not just letting it, you're not just ignoring it. That's a big part that goes into it as well.
Well, Mike, I thank you for thoroughly covering that. George, you were about to ask a question and I
No,
stopped you.
I was going to say thank you for thoroughly covering that.
Okay, all right. I'm doing producer tonight. Okay,
Right,
so
right.
Thank you for thoroughly covering that. And if someone needs to reach you, how do they reach you?
You can email me at michael.jennings@brackensfsn.com, or you can just give me a call at 315-748-5540. Again, that's 315-748-5540.
All right, then. So Mike, okay, thank you again for making sure that we had a thorough understanding around life insurance and the process in order to obtain it. George, I am going to dig, like I said, next week, a lot deeper into some of the facts around wills again, our exit planning, because it looks like we need to do some refresher courses on exit planning. But okay, as far as the rest of this weekend, you know, and the holiday that's coming up on the 4th, everybody, please be safe. Please be safe. Okay, if you need a trusted person to drive for you, get that. Okay, because we don't want anyone to have any types of accidents and any type of mishaps on the road as we're in our celebration mode. So again, I'll say our plate is full. If you need to reach me, it's area code 315-930-4499. But most of all, listen to your friendly neighborhood advisor and his advice on your life insurance. And I'll say our plate is full.
All right, thank you very much, Vicki. Let's get Michael's number again so that we don't have all these numbers floating around. What's your number again, Michael?
Yep, that's 315-748-5540.
All right, and that's Michael.Jennings
at brackensfsn.com.
All right, we're going to go with that plate is full. All right, Vicki Brackens and Michael Jennings. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. She is America's Money Maven.